rolls it all the way back on his own goalkeeper. Schumann will try and boot it up. Little header flicked forward, but NJC possesses it again. Good early possession in the first 2.5 of this game for NJC as they'll get a throw on the far touchline. No shots thus far, but good workmanlike effort for NJC. Throw in, headed up, back out toward the midfield stripe. Undercut and a physical play and a foul on NJC. Saw a whole lot of physicality yesterday and a whole lot of fouls whistled in the 2-2 draw with Northwest Wyoming. The Plainsmen didn't control their emotions as well as we talked with Coach Westfield at halftime. Got to use your emotions in soccer, but not let them use you, and the Plainsmen did the latter yesterday. Kick into the 18, sails in from the midfield stripe on number 14. I believe that was for 34 for Central Wyoming. Josh Jackson took the shot for them, and it's gobbled up by Samuel Neri. Scoreless nearly 4 minutes in. Header forward for NJC off the goal kick. They try to work it up and in. Ball stays up in the air. It'll be calmed down by Sequeira for Central Wyoming, and a foul whistled on NJC as Sequeira was pushed to the deck by Cracknell. Ish yards out to be spotted up by Josh Bromwell, the freshman for Central Wyoming. Bromwell puts the boot into it, sailing it right of the goal, looking for a header back across. It's a header out by the defense of NJC and will lead to a corner kick for Central Wyoming. Come out of the far corners. The bodies will work up and in for the Rustlers. The bigger bodies for the header on. Largely out of the center back. Goalkeeper all the way out toward the midfield stripe as well. Header up wide right of the goal. So it was flicked on by the head of Bakiram on the corner, or flicked toward, but not on. 5 minutes into the first half. Brought to you by Sterling Health Foods, natural and effective supplements. They'll help your body stay healthy. It's affordable, too, with their rewards pan. Stop by Sterling Health Foods, south of Sterling on Highway 6. Plainsmen had the 2-0 lead with about 5 minutes to go in the first half yesterday. Didn't get that first 5-minute goal or whatever that we've seen this team desire to do early in the campaigns. Plainsmen will take it away in the middle, and Becerra Garcia will turn and work it up the near side. Garcia passes center stripe. Got the ball on the tackle, did Camille Correa, and the ball goes out off of NJC. You played the ball, you can undercut the player, and he did play the ball, and the ball was last touched by the Plainsmen. Ball be chipped out toward the center stripe and spinning an odd man rush. Worked up the middle for Central Wyoming and Tanner Johnson. Johnson center back sandwiched by Baker, and Baker will take the ball away. Roll it off far side to Colbert, and Colbert will try and launch it forward, and we get a foul. Will lead to a Plainsman free kick. 38 and change to go in the first half. Just underway in this Region 9 men's soccer contest. Plains women volleyball out in Idaho today. They lost in 5 sets after overcoming an 0-2 deficit to Salt Lake. They had a couple match points and lost in extras in the 5th set. They overcame an 0-2 deficit against Utah State Eastern just now, and they won in the 5th set. And exciting for us here on the Eastern Plains Sports Network because we just saw a 5-setter opening up the Sheila Worley tournament next weekend at 2 o'clock Friday right here on 94.5 The Ranch NJC and Utah State Eastern again. So we get to see the rematch between those two. Central Wyoming working across the middle, and Hall looking to roll it forward. He'll work it down to Bromwell on the near side. Bromwell's return cross back in the middle, denied by the Plainsman defense. He'll sail it up high and head it across for NJC. Nuswati heading it out on the far side. Plainsman looking for the ball forward. They can't possess it long enough. Little chip roll into the box. Touched by Sequeira. Sequeira finds the foot of Johnson, who's forced to back it out with the collapsing defense. Near midfield, Hall will pick it up. He'll launch it toward the far side. Nuswati heads it out, but it's quickly contained by Charlie Jones for the Rustlers. Jones down on the end line. He'll hit a cross that sails over everybody's head and out. It'll be a goal kick for the Northeastern Plainsmen. Nearly 10 minutes into the first half. We remain scoreless between NJC and Central Wyoming. Baker will work it out of the middle for the Plainsmen. Nuswati launches it up looking for Shumawata. All knocked up. Ultimately possessed by Central Wyoming as Belmont wins the battle with Mami. Crossover is quickly calmed down by Brett. Brett will launch it up, and Shumawata looking to run underneath it as the ball bounces down the field. Central Wyoming will just launch it out toward the far touchline as Beck Grimm was the only one back there battling with Wada, and the battle will continue to the far touchline. All crossed up high. Plainsmen will back out and settle it down once again. Haven't seen as much pace from NJC as we anticipated. This is a team that likes to start fast, and obviously you want to, but Coach James Westfield, in the maturation of his coaching process, talked today at halftime of the women's game about the importance of maintaining a clean sheet. NJC whistled for the offside as the ball was bounced forward. As good as the defense is from Samuel Neri, the freshman from Italy, it's actually the defense in front of him that has made his job even easier this year, as NJC is one of the teams inside the region that is allowing in the top 4 fewest shots conceded through non-conference play. So per game, obviously haven't played 2 games, they haven't conceded a ton of shots, because they did not have a large non-conference slate. Ended up playing a lot of scrimmages after some game cancellations. All back in the Central Wyoming defensive half, but they possess it as they'll work it around near side. Bromwell working in the middle, and then back up top they'll go and launch it back out to the midfield stripe. Header up by Ethan Shea, one of the 2 center backs. Shea along with Lloyd Baker. Baker, the transfer in from Regis, one of the top Division II programs in the state of Colorado. Baker gets bodied off the ball as he tries to turn and bring it up here, and Coach Westfield said he anticipated physical play, and we've seen 5 fouls between the 2 teams early on. We played just more than 11 minutes. Kleber, or pardon me, not Kleber, he's up in the midfield. That's Shea working out of the center back. The Plainsmen reform their shape and use Neary to allow those left and right backs a chance to get up the field a little quicker. Ball a little too far for Hugo Brett, and Central Wyoming repicks up the possession at the midfield stripe. Little chip launch forward from Jackson down into the near corner. Tough time for Bromwell to contain it, but he finally does. Shoves it off to Sequeira, who's looking for a cross off the end line. His cross is blocked back out into the near corner, and Brett will chase it down after the Baker block. Little bouncer up toward the midfield area before Correa runs it down for Central Wyoming. Plainsmen will win the battle, Mandlers. Off to Hugo Brett, and he'll try and thread the needle forward to Wada. Comes up short on the foot of Beckram. Plainsman will win it in the middle and has the visual effort of the second game of a weekend battle. Both teams having played yesterday. Trouble getting footing early in the game when it comes to gaining momentum. Just a lot of volleying back and forth of the possession. One side to the other, to the other, to the other. Whistle deep down as the Northeastern Plainsmen gave the push, and they're tagged for their third foul of the game. Gordon Insurance wants to make sure that you're prepared for everything life throws at you. Car insurance, farm insurance, crop insurance, life insurance. Gordon Insurance, 970-526-6139. Header off the kick following the foul down toward the midfield stripe. Ultimately won on the 50-50 by the Rustlers. And Charlie Jones is yanked down to the turf. Played 13 and a half minutes and have 7 fouls between the two teams. Like Northeastern, a lot of international flavor on this Central Wyoming roster. Columbia, Brazil. Kick in, saved by Nerian, and he's knocked for Central Wyoming as he went up for the ball to try and be dislodged. So Neri able to gobble it up. Hugo Brett will work it up the near touchline as the right back in the Northeastern defense. Baker's got a pretty big leg. Thread it forward, come up short of Shumawata. In position there to pull it down was Jackson. Ball footed away and then crossed up high by Bromwell. But no white jersey there for Central Wyoming to calm it down. It's headed out for NJC, and then they'll try and run down underneath it with Serrato Hernandez on the far side. He'll roll it in, and diving on top of it is Samuel Neri once again. So Neri been able to thwart all the balls that have got through the back line of the defense thus far and keep us scoreless nearly 15 minutes into this first half. Shea, the Plainsman, he'll bang it forward and nobody able to trace it down in the front. Kleber with Mateo Garcia and Mami now operating as the forwards, shifting a couple of the guys back to the midfield, including Shumawata, at least briefly there. Wada now still that striker 10 on the front end of kind of a 4-man back line, one forward, couple midfielders that are operating as forwards as well, and then some straight-up midfielders. So almost a additional tier averaged for NJC here for some of the possessions in their offense. Wada foots it far side, looking to push it down to Kleber. Big ball up over the top as Garcia runs underneath it for NJC. Stepping into the 18, trying to force his way past Beckram, and Beckram forced to launch it out on the far line. NJC will have a throw, 16th minute of this first half. Number 16, Ware Mandelers, the freshman from Belgium. Launches it in, comes up short of his intended target, and Central Wyoming takes away possession. Plainsman tenacious, though, in that middle third. They're not making easy runs through it all for Central Wyoming. Ball rolled up in the quick run up the near side, pushing in and firing in on a shot. Tanner Johnson, number 29, but he's saved again by Neri. The Plainsman gave up that counter, but Johnson couldn't do anything with it. We stay scoreless in this first half. Lloyd will work it in, and Baker came up short of his target for NJC. Fortunately, Central Wyoming was not prepared for it and gave it right back. Lukamami trying to fight through a couple Central Wyoming defenders He'll put it out, last touch there by him, and a Central Wyoming throw from Alex Hall. Hall launching it up the near side. Plainsman will knock it out for an even deeper throw. One thing NJC has struggled with right now is trying to get rid of the ball. A lot of dribbling through the middle that is allowing Central Wyoming's defense to pinch in. Long-range shot bends into the 18, knocked down, and the Plainsman will clear it out as that had danger written all over it. Sakara knocked it down, and Baker, veteran presence in the middle back of that defense, said no thanks, we're going to make the throw in, and this time the good defense on the throw, forcing the ball back out toward midfield. .26:40 remaining in the first half. We stay scoreless between NJC and Central Wyoming. Midfield, Mammy looking to take it away, and a hard tackle. Central Wyoming pleading that it was not a foul, that he was playing the ball, but it will be whistled as the 5th foul. The Northeastern Plainsman will get a kick from near midfield. The boot will be put into it for NJC by Shea. Shea right in front of the NJC tent toward the far sideline. Taking his time, letting everybody kind of get up. The boot sails across the pitch to the near side. Hugo Brett will allow Central Wyoming to overrun it. Don't know if that was intended or not, but it worked as NJC possesses it. Brett gives it off to Cracknell, who chips it forward. Mammy lets it slide by, and then they bounce down into the corner after Central Wyoming tried to clear it out, and lead to a goal kick for the Rustlers. Sub at the line for NJC, our first substitution of the game, nearly 20 minutes in. Onto the pitch will come Matias Rios, the sophomore from Australia. Coming off the bench today, he'll replace Luca Mami, but a very active and capable midfielder. Central Wyoming will start on the ground. They're not going to try and play the big ball up, as they've not been able to win a lot of the 50-50 balls today. Rustlers will push it forward to Correa. Correa trying to run it down, taken off the foot for the Northeastern Plainsman. Out near side, Cracknell. He chips it up, and sidestepping a defender, Garcia takes possession away, tries to foot it to Brett, but it tumbles out, intended for Hugo. Nearly halfway through the first half, we remain scoreless between NJC and Central Wyoming. In fact, Central Wyoming 3-4 shots. NJC has yet to put one out there, or one on, I should say. Appearing to be more of a defensive-minded contest. Hugo Brett tipped the ball. He ends up on the deck. No foul called as he tried to draw one there, and Central Wyoming will lose it out on the near side. So it'll be Plainsman throw. Hugo Brett stepping up in on the throw after getting up off the turf. He'll run it down into the corner. Hugo bangs it out off a Central Wyoming Rustler on the inline and garners the first NJC corner of the game. Central Wyoming has a corner as well, so each team's been able to create something, and Matias Rios will be the one to put the corner up for NJC. .23 and counting to go in this first half. Rios Puts a low line drive in. The goalkeeper out to knock it down in Schumann. NJC comes up with it. Brett tries to fire it in, and Central Wyoming will calm it and clear it out. On the near side, you get a collision, and the ball goes out on the near side. Last touched by Central Wyoming. Good hot chase given by Marco Niswati for NJC. Off the corner, you'd add the body of Lloyd Baker forward, who scored yesterday for NJC, the center back defender, and Northeastern Plainsman got Niswati to cover the position back on the near side and managed to maintain possession. Off the throw, trying to work it forward to Shumawata. Ball denied on the entry through from Sikera. Ball chip back up over the near side. Bromwell giving chase. Brett there. He'll knock it down, and he'll turn and he'll run the counter up his near side. Give back toward Brett from Garcia, and the ball footed out. Dropped off near side to Cricknell, and he'll back out to Lloyd Baker. Baker finds Rios, but Rios disinterested in working the middle. The Plainsmen working the side, either right or left, in their build of the offense, and then building or working across to get into prime offensive real estate. Baker. They'll angle it across the pitch onto the far side. LeBaire underneath it. Turn, try and cross it up and in. Collision. And possession stays with Central Wyoming, in spite of their player being the one that hit down. A good chase given by Correa to pull that ball away. Big ball pushed up the far side and offside whistled on Central Wyoming. A step taken by Pedro Belmont, the sophomore, and he was behind the last line of defense when that ball was put toward him. Sidney Regional Medical Center in Sidney, Nebraska doesn't want you to let an injury keep you out of the game. Check out all the services they offer at SydneyRMC.com. Lloyd Baker. Off the center back. Pushing it forward. Wada, the middle of the pitch. He's been bracketed much today. Hugo Brett running forward. Big ball launched. Brett will run it down in the right corner. Brett will hit a cross. It's footed down by Alex Hall. And then quickly bomb back out for Central Wyoming. Lloyd Baker there to head it down, and Lloyd's going to try and step himself up into the foray offensively. Off to Alec Cracknell. Cracknell looking for Brett on the near side. So still working that right back, left back, forward. That's actually where they're trying to build from, are the Northeastern Plainsmen. 19 and change to go in the first half. Scoreless between NJC and CWC. Ball footed forward, chasing near side is Bromwell. He stayed on. Bromwell hits a slow roller in, and Baker will just fire it back out as he wasn't sure how much help he had to his right to cross that one there, and get subs on for Central Wyoming prior to the throw-in. Good bit of work there for Tanner Johnson, who sits for the first time today. He'll be replaced in his forward position by Sakira. Midfield spot for Central Wyoming will be reworked. I believe that is Andres Trochet. Throw in off the near side on the restart. Quick foot up, finding Charlie Jones. Jones looking to cross it in. Denied on his cross one time for the Plainsman by Cracknell. Second time, Cracknell foots it back out 25 and a fire in, but quickly swallowed up. Number 16, Camille Correa, with his first shot of the game. Fifth save for Samuel Neary. 6 shots, 5 on goal, all saved for the Plainsman's freshman goalkeeper, Hugo Brett, and Lloyd Baker working on the right side of that defense with 17:37 to go in the first half. Kleber tries to roll it across the middle. It's taken away by Central Wyoming, but then given right back. Good job by Garcia to come up with the ball for the Northeastern Plainsmen. He'll roll it through, and then Hugo Brett will build up the near side. 35 out. Hugo's going to cross it in to Mandeliers, where rolls it off far side. Matias Rios chips it down for Kleber. Kleber working toward the corner. Defender takes the ball away from him, tries to launch it back out. Quickly headed by Ethan Shea for the Northeastern Plainsmen, and a rally back and forth ends up in his possession once again. All rolled all the way back to Samuel Neary. NJC's going to reverse the field, now work to the right of the goalkeeper, Lloyd Baker. Trying to thread it through, and he finds the leg of a Rustler. They look to quickly work the counter back in from Sekira, but nobody giving chase on Sekira's ball toward the right corner. Neri calms it down. Lloyd Baker playing catch. 16 to go in the first half. JC still has not put a shot on in this game. Got the corner in there, but knocked down before he could get through. It's a possession value ball game for the Northeastern Plainsmen. Offside for NJC as the big ball's played out of the back, and Nuswati was a step behind the back line. NJC had a sub coming to the line, and that sub will come in, but not until after the water break as we get the pause with 15:33 to go in the first half. Scoreless between NJC and CWC on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. .15:33 to go in the first half, scoreless back at Plainsman Park between the Northeastern Plainsmen and the Central Wyoming Rustlers in the second game of Region 9 men's soccer play for both teams of the 2024 season. I'm Ben Blecka. The Northeastern Plainsmen drew yesterday, got a point. Central Wyoming with a win on the road, so they already have 3 on the road. Much like we talked about in the women's game, if you can take points, plural, even if it's 2 draws on the road, you've achieved a lot inside this region. So having 3 already is huge for Central Wyoming. But they've got their eyes on more than just 3. They'd like the full 6 from the road trip like their women achieved. Back to play after the water stoppage. The Rustlers with the possession, trying to work it in. Collision near the top of the 18 in natural play. And the Plainsmen trying to retake possession. Header out of the backside from Itzel Bustos, the sub that came in on the whistle for NJC. Bustos working out of that more defensive-minded midfield role. Shumawata's yet to get a significant touch for NJC as the primary forward for this team. The defense has bracketed him really well. He's dribbled it a couple times, but they look like they're really trying to mark him, and a lot of that has been Riam Bikrim, the center back defender that is following him everywhere he goes. Plainsman took Lloyd Baker to the bench with Itzel Bustos coming in, so pause from the guy that has been working out of the back for the Northeastern Plainsmen. Goal kick after a long ball launch forward, just possessed on the ground for Central Wyoming. Alex Hall bangs it up, quickly calmed down by Samir Sakara. Sakara is fouled. 5th foul on NJC in the first half, 5 fouls on Central Wyoming. This is a dangerous spot with good range in the foot of the Rustler players, a good 26 or so yards out. With 13 to go, and over the top of the ball stands Josh Bromwell. Bromwell, the freshman. Two-man wall in front of it's comprised of Matias Rios and Hugo Bretz. He'll fire it over to the right of the goal looking for a header down. It's knocked out by the NJC defense, and then the ball rolls through. Good whip in by number 10, Pedro Belmont, and a 6th save of the first half for Samuel Neary. NJC's still in search of their first shot on goal of the ball game. 10. Ball goes out, far sideline. Will be a throw for Central Wyoming in front of the Northeastern tent. They'll possess it, and possession has been not but just slightly in favor of the Rustlers. The shots would indicate it's been much more there, but it's been a solid defensive first half for Central Wyoming. Is really frustrating NJC's offense. Back foot up to the near side. Alex Hall giving a run, and a collision between Hall and the Northeastern Plainsman's Ethan Shea, and Shea down. Official will hover over and give him a chance, and now they will stop the clock with 11:21 to go in the first half. Call the trainer across for the downed Northeastern Plainsman player. Mentioned road trips forthcoming for both the Plainswomen and the Plainsmen. They're down southeast Colorado next weekend at Otero and Trinidad, Western and Nebraska, and Laramie County Community College the weekend after. Western Wyoming, Lamar. They won't be back home again until October 11th and 12th, so getting points at home is imperative. Chance for wins in southeast Colorado for both clubs. Now, Lamar and Western Wyoming for the women are one-game weekends, so you feel positive, but just playing the one there, that maybe you can try and find points on those opportunities as well. So it's not dire straits if you don't take the win here at home, especially with this Plainsman team only having the draw. Yesterday they did get a point, but 3 is a definite, you wouldn't say must, but it is in the area code of must. Jotip Walderbeek, the Plainsman's sophomore from Netherlands, came in for the injured Shea, and he'll push it out of the back. Ball tackled out on the near side with 10.5 to go in the first half.
I want one now too.
Ball be tossed in, and Walderbeek tries to find Wada, but again bracketed defensively. Cracknell steps up, takes the ball off the foot of the Rustlers' Charlie Jones, and working to run it around on the near side. Cracknell, very heady, very possession-oriented player. Rolls it across, and Bustos will try and build it up and in. He chips it down into the far corner. Quick run down into that far corner in Nuswati. His cross in is knocked down by the Central Wyoming defense. Tried to be cleared out to the center stripe, and Mendelers will step up and take it away. Victor Wolbeek will work off that back, so he's working right back now, well, if you will, for NJC, as they're really putting Hugo Brett way forward. Neither center back defender started the game or is traditionally a center back. Ball launched out forward, intended for Shumawata, headed defensively for Central Wyoming by Josh Jackson. He'll run it down into the corner and clear it out. So he's the one that drew the mark that time on Shumawata. Quick throw in to Mami. Cleared back out to the midfield, and a run opportunity as NJC tries to thwart that chance. We'll get a foul. There's 6 of the first half. The way this one started, we saw 9 fouls between the two teams in the first 12 minutes of the game. It is quelled since. Expect that physicality to pick back up as this game goes along, especially the longer it stays where our scoreboard sits at 0-0. You typically see teams at 0-0 get progressively more and more frustrated. Don't believe since 2011 Plainsman Soccer has ever played a scoreless draw. Of course, we had a couple that went scoreless through regulation that finished 1-0 in overtime back when we played overtime in the regular season. Had a scoreless game 2 years ago in the opening round of the Region 9 tournament for the men's soccer team that was won in overtime 1-0. Cross up and in, near side, header back toward frame, ball knocked down, and the defense is there to quickly deny it, and then a shot ripped high of the goal as the Plainsmen tried to clear it out. Beautifully played ball across the first time, and then the Plainsmen just couldn't work it down. That was number 18, Andres Troches, that took the shot that sailed high of the goal for Central Wyoming. Samuel Nary's been tested so far today. 7:10 to go first half. Plainsmen have not tested the Central Wyoming goalkeeper Stanley Schumann. He's not faced a shot on. NJC's got that corner that got into the box and another that was about 10 feet wide of the goal, but that's about it. They've been able to develop that offense, and you could hear in the water break the frustration in Coach James Westfield's voice. He knows his team's better than that offensively, but as we talked about in the women's game, and I mentioned here again, second game in as many days, you typically see the offense take a bit of regression, and that's been the case for the team in black today. NJC with the run-up on the far side. Stepping in, ball knocked off the foot of Northeastern's Luca Mami. Will force into a corner. Second NJC corner of the game as it went out on the end line. Wasn't sure if it was end or it was corner. It was corner, and Matias Rios will be putting the boot into the corner, but NJC will make a substitution. Alec Cracknell will take a seat for NJC. Oliver Stickland, the freshman from England, on, and NJC will bring Sho Nakayama in to close the first half and sit Hugo Brett. Central Wyoming also made a substitution. Isaac Smith, the freshman, coming in a forward position. Final 5:38 and counting of the first half. Rios puts the boot on the corner into the 18. Ball knocked down by the goalkeeper, and then a swing and a miss for the Northeastern Plainsmen off the corner. So again, no chance off of that corner in spite of a really beautifully played ball that Schumann was able to knock out. Central Wyoming trying to run through it up the near line, and ultimately to Jones it goes. Jones tries to play it down into the corner for Bromwell, and the Plainsmen rifle it out toward the trees behind us. Under 5 to go in the first half. We stay scoreless. Quick drop in toward the 18. Walbeek forcing out. Ball pushed out by NJC once again as they wanted to step and enter down and just couldn't do anything with it. Throw in very deep for Central Wyoming down toward the end line. Did it go out on the end line or did it go out on the side on the clear? We're going to say it was on the side, and it will be a throw very deep once again for the Rustlers. They'll toss it out near side to Alex Hall. Hall gets it roughed off his foot and out of bounds by NJC, and another throw. Quick cross in, knocked up by the Northeastern defense toward the top of the 18. Shot fired in and hammers to the right post and in from Pedro Belmont, number 10, as that ball was out, and Belmont knocks it in. A 42nd minute goal, and the Central Wyoming Rustlers have a 1-0 advantage off of a myriad of throws down on the near side, and NJC just couldn't clear that one out. Soft clear toward the top, and Belmont fires it in. The goal for the Central Wyoming Rustlers goes to sophomore Pedro Belmont. 7th shot on goal in the game for Central Wyoming, and they have broken the scoreless tie on the scoreboard. Sense of urgency for the offense of NJC will definitely mount in the final little bit here. See if you can't get that equalizer. Very important, as we've talked about, right after you give up a goal, the next 5 minutes are prime time to be able to answer back and change that momentum. But for a team that doesn't have a shot on goal, I mean, getting a shot on goal would feel like a victory right now. Big ball launched forward and clears out on the near side. Very stalwart defense that is being played by Central Wyoming today. Maintain their zones well in their end. It's not just, here's the 4 back line. It's the midfielders. It's even the forwards working in. Big ball ripped up down toward the near corner, chased down by Garcia. He'll hit a high ball that sails way behind the netting, behind the goal. He was just trying to keep it in play and couldn't turn the leg on it. 3 to go in the first half. Goal kick for Central Wyoming. It's booted out to the center stripe. And Central Wyoming will keep possession. Bromwell found. He'll run up near side, hit a soft rolling cross. It's cleared, but off of a Plainsman defender. Unfortunately bailed out for NJC as there were 2 other Plainsmen there. Quick flip out of bounds off of a Rustler player by Masur Garcia. Throw in for NJC with 2:19 to go in the first half, trailing 1-0. Toward the midfield stripe, and Serrano Hernandez tries to chip it forward. Defense calms it down. You don't have as many comfortable center backs out there right now for NJC. with the substitutions that they made, and you're kind of seeing some disarray defensively. Stickland will launch it up the pitch. Becerra Garcia up the near side. Mateo denied on his cross, spins down into the corner, tries to step and make a run off of that corner. He'll roll it back across the top. Turn in is blocked. And Central Wyoming will counter quickly back up the near side. Ball sailed a little bit, but still number working up. It's Isaac Smith who tries to rip it, and it's knocked out by NJC on the near side. Just 1:15 to go before halftime. Attempt to draw a foul on the end, and then a sailor up to the far side. Great take off the near touchline. That was Bromwell, number 11, with the shot. And Neri with the punch save out on the far side. .45 seconds to go in the first half. Shimawada trying to get space in the middle of the pitch for NJC. It's been denied all ball game long, and cross is headed by the defense for Central Wyoming and never gets through once again. A counter back up with 25 seconds to go in the first half. We'll flick up near side for Bromwell as he'll chase it down. Bromwell bounding in toward the 18, headed up for NJC defensively and back out to the near corner, and Nakayama will work it up. Just 6 seconds remaining in the half, taken away for Central Wyoming and Alex Hall. They'll just back it off, and Central Wyoming will take their 1-0 lead to halftime. They scored in the 42nd minute. Plainsmen denied a shot on goal in half number one. It's halftime, 1-0 Central Wyoming over NJC on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Back at halftime, the Northeastern Junior College Plainsmen trail Central Wyoming 1-0. I'm Ben Bleck on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Our halftime show brought to you by Northeastern. Come start your education with us. Visit njc.edu for more information. We're joined by Joshua Burton, the head coach for the Plainswomen. Obviously disappointing in the end result, 4-3, but I don't think you can be disappointed with the effort that your ladies put out today. I was impressed with how your team played today.
No, I definitely thought that the girls played pretty well. We stuck to game plan and executed it successfully. So, Not much that I can really be disappointed with on there, but the loss itself does suck. And there's just a few other things that we have to fix, like an off season. Kind of getting that late start coming in March makes it hard to, fill the roster that I wanted.
You have a lot of freshmen that have played well, and the one that I know has played exceptionally this year. Let's start with her first, Ashlyn Godfrey, your freshman goalkeeper. She's pretty good between the pipes for your team, and she was again today. Even though she conceded 4 goals, she made some spectacular saves.
Yeah, definitely. I think Godfrey offers a lot for us in between the sticks, and I think that we're just trying to have a day where we can put her performance together with the field performance. When we can combine those and get everybody going at once, I think then we'll finally hit our groove and be a little bit more dangerous. But definitely she's great, and we have a lot of freshmen that have done wonders for us. Like, I'm thankful that we were able to bring them in. So now it's just getting everybody on the same page and getting to that same level of productivity.
You guys got 3 goals today. You got 3 goals yesterday. Talk with me about your offense. What has looked good? I know you lost both games, but 3 goals in each game for a team that early in the season looked like you may have some trouble offensively. That things are going well there, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think offensively what we do is a complicated system. And so a lot of times that early preseason when girls come in, if they're not used to the style of play, it makes things a little bit difficult. But as people start to get more comfortable in their roles, then we start to find ourselves a little bit. So today we went back to what we were doing in preseason, actually, when we were struggling, but now everyone knows their roles. And I also know my players a little bit better, right? I know their strengths. And so then things start clicking on all cylinders.
This is just the first weekend. You guys have several more weekends in regional play. The challenge is going to be going on the road for this team. So how are you preparing this team, especially knowing the injury issues you had? You only had 12 players suited today, so that you guys can maybe get some of those points you need on the road and start building something here.
Yeah, I think the girls just need a little more rest. They're really hard workers. And there's times where they don't want days off, but I think I just have to force them to take some days off at times. And that if we can get proper rest, then we'll be healthy. And I think if we have full roster healthy today like we did yesterday, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Against the competition we played today. So I think that's part of it, and we'll just get some rest and we hit the road next week and look forward to trying to go 2-0 next weekend.
Absolutely. Well, it was fun to see you guys in action today. Coach, thanks for taking time to chat with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben.
We're at half. The Northeastern Plainsmen trail 1-0. More next on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Back at halftime with the Northeastern Plainsmen trail Central Wyoming 1-0. I'm Ben Blecka, and we continue to talk about the Northeastern Plainsmen team who lost 4-3 earlier today. I'm joined by Brittany Mendoza, the freshman for the Plainswomen, who scored in the early stages of the second half. You guys, I think, played pretty well offensively. What did you think went well today? Because it's the second day in a row you got 3 goals.
I think we've definitely been playing to each other's strengths. Before we were kind of just sending like the balls and hoping someone gets it, but now we're kind of like passing it amongst each other, getting closer to the attacking half, and then we kind of just send the ball through, and then the rest of us kind of crash onto that.
Your goal, I mean, Katie Rodriguez played a beautiful pass
Yeah.
forward to you. She's got to be a lot of fun to have in that center back because she really plays some pretty balls forward for you guys, doesn't she?
Yeah, I love Katie in the back line. She's one of our really good center backs, and yeah.
Talk to me about the physical and mental strain this game puts on you because, I mean, you played, even though he went out with an injury for a little bit, you still played 80-plus minutes today, yesterday. I mean, that's got to be taxing.
Yeah, I definitely can feel it a little. I just think we just need to recover so that we can come in strong into our next few games. But, yeah, second half I was kind of, because I fell in the first half. Like, I fell right on my knee, and my knee's been bothering me for a few days. So falling on that second half, it was bothering me a little. But when I scored, the adrenaline kind of got me going. But, yeah, I feel like recovery right now is what we need. You're
part of a big group of freshmen for this team. What is the difference from the level of soccer you played before to this collegiate level, and how have you tried to adapt to it so far?
It's a lot quicker here, and then it's a lot more because playing club back home, it was like 3 practices a week, and now we train every day. And on top of that, we do weights as well, and then the style of play is just a lot quicker on the field. So I've just been trying to, like, adapt to it and work hard in practice, get used to that style of play. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you played well today. We'll put the headset on our other player who we didn't get to see play today. That's Trizity Chavez, who was out today. How tough is it? I mean, you had a concussion yesterday. How tough is it to sit and watch a game like this one today?
I feel like it's hard to watch the game, even though like we all put our best effort forward. It's like, why can't I help the team out? I know that what's struggling on the field, and it's just painful to sit there and watch on the sideline knowing I can't help them out.
And definitely, a team lost 4-3 today. Obviously, you wanted to get some points. You wanted to get the wins in the games you had this weekend. But I think the team is growing up a lot. How do you feel you have grown as a player in your time here in Sterling?
I feel like I've grown tremendously. Like, it's very drastic change from back home in Utah to being here. I think I've learned a lot from playing with our players here and being coached by Josh and Ben.
You guys, I mean, there's a complicated offensive system for this team, but defensively, I think this team has been pretty solid in improving there as well. How do you feel about the defense that the team has and you've been able to put together too?
I think from the get-go, our defense has been pretty strong from the beginning. We do struggle at times, but then it's like a quick switch and we got it back on, and we'll just jump back into defense, and we've gotten it all figured out. Especially in practices, we all work together and we all have a great connection, so that helps us.
Definitely. Well, disappointing not to play today, but hoping to be able to contribute as you go forward, right?
Yes, of course.
Absolutely. It's Trizity Chavez. The Plainsmen lost 4-3. Thank you for joining us. We're at half. The Northeastern Plainsmen trail Central Wyoming 1-0. Second half next on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Back at Plainsman Park as we head to half number 2. The Northeastern Plainsmen trail Central Wyoming 1-0. They're looking to find a way to get back even. They're going to have to battle from behind. Yesterday, it was a 2-2 draw for NJC against Northwest College. They were ahead 2-0 at halftime and got equalized with about 6 minutes to go. The Northeastern Plainsmen trying to get their momentum as they head to the second half and try and get their first shot on goal in the ball game. They did not put a shot on in the first half. So some changes. Tomas Bradbury will come on to begin half number 2. On will come Oliveda as well. The freshman from England will play left back. So some new bodies returning for NJC. In the center back position will be Lloyd Baker as he got paused to end the first half. Remaining on is Ollie Stickland for the Northeastern Plainsmen. As Central Wyoming boots the ball in to start the second half, but NJC takes it away, quickly working up the near side. Veda rolls it forward to Bradbury. Bradbury down on the near side. He's knocked down by Jones. Ball goes out, last touched by Jones, so it'll be an NJC throw. Been impressive defense for Central Wyoming. I've covered NJC Central Wyoming a couple different times on the Eastern Plains Sports Network, and the defense has been pretty porous in years past. So kudos to the coaching staff for being able to get a strong back line this year in what's a very tough region. You need that great defense. NJC with quick run in on the far side. Hard tackle on the end line. And we got a foul inside the 18. We will have a penalty kick for NJC on the sliding tackle. The Northeastern Plainsman player is down, but that hard sliding tackle being argued down on the end line happened inside the 18. Didn't see who the foul was on, but it is the 6th foul of the ball game. And because the foul happened into the 18, taking Hugo Brett down, the ball will be put on the spot. We saw the Northeastern Plainswomen score a goal on a PK to equalize in half one. And Morgan Kendall is the new goalkeeper for Central Wyoming in this second half. Shuma, he'll back up. Beautifully saved for the Rustlers by Morgan Kendall. His first save of the game on the first shot from Shumawata on the penalty kick. And NJC remains down 1-0. He guessed right. He went to the spot. And that is a massive momentum swing early in the second half in favor of the visiting Central Wyoming Rustlers. Wada, NJC's goal scorer early in the season. Colorado Northwestern is the most trusted of the offensive weapons that NJC possesses. Throw in far side for Central Wyoming's knocked out, so we'll do it again. Toss in, pushed back out, and a launch in, headed away for NJC by Ollie Veda. Veda chips it forward to Bradbury. Bradbury, he'll turn. He's sandwiched between a couple defenders. Quick run up the far side for Central Wyoming after the takeaway, and Belmont, who scored the lone goal for the Rustlers. Belmont trotting down on the far side. Gets it taken away. Veda looking to run it back up the near side. He'll find Bradbury. Bradbury, he'll chip it forward. Shumawata stepping up, but he's going to come up short of the ball as Backram, who's been marking him all game, is right there to take it away. 3 minutes into the second half. The Northeastern Plainsmen trail Central Wyoming 1-0. Ball be pushed for NJC all the way back on Samuel Neary. And Neary chips it forward, team by Cracknell. Cracknell's inner in is knocked down by the defense, cleared back out toward the center stripe. Hard work out in front by Tanner Johnson, but he can't work it off the Northeastern foot. Nakayama. Right back defense for NJC. Rolls it across. Ball chipped over near side for Veda. Veda giving chase as he's the left back defender. Down into the corner. Central Wyoming possesses it. Plainsman pressuring with Mammy. Rolled out, and Charlie Jones will boot it forward. Quick chase up the near side for Tanner Johnson. He'll pick it up down toward the corner, working across on the end line, and Lloyd Baker dislodges him off the ball. No foul called. He remains down as he landed on the ball, and it goes out on the near side. It'll be a Central Wyoming throw. They nearly picked up a penalty kick in the midst of that, did the Central Wyoming Rustlers. 5 minutes into the second half, score remains 1-0. The lone goal coming in the 42nd minute from Central Wyoming. The early stage physicality. 26 or so yards out, couple paces off the near touch line. For Central Wyoming. All launched into the 18, couple bodies elevating, nobody can get ahead on it, and it sails out on the end line for a goal kick. Carpet Comfort Center has elegant flooring for every step of your life. Stop by in the Broadway Plaza Shopping Center and see Carpet Comfort Center to make your home more comfortable. Goal kick for NJC will be boot put into it and back up. There's more than 6 minutes into the second half. NJC is trying to possess it slowly. One shot, the penalty kick is all they put on frame this afternoon. Ball footed up forward and headed back, and there to swallow it up off the defensive header is Morgan Kendall once again. Crossover near side. Bradbury whistled for the foul. As he knocked down the Rustler. Bank of Colorado believes in keeping banking simple. Apply for the loan you need for your dream home. You can do it fully online at bankofcolorado.com or one of the many locations of Bank of Colorado. Member FDIC. Through the middle right shoulder, and he was behind him when that ball was played forward to him by Nakayama. It's been a frustrating offensive day for NJC, to say the least, especially after the start yesterday. It's been a day for NJC dating back to yesterday's game, from up 2-0 to a 2-2 draw, to now for the Northeastern Plainsmen being down 1-0 to Central Wyoming. Oscar Serrano Hernandez will toss it in front of us on the near side. Ball knocked down, and it goes the way of the Plainsmen after a foul for Central Wyoming, and now a Plainsman ends up on the turf. Maybe a bit of extra between Veda and one of the Rustler defenders, but nothing issued from there. Kick forward, Nakayama tries the header up. It finds the foot of Hugo Brett as Brett denied the entry up the far side. I'll push it back up on the near side. A cross knocked down. Hernandez gets it taken away for NJC as Veda picks it up on the slide tackle. Sticklin will back out, and then Nakayama will back and roll it back on the near side. So just kind of calming things again, trying to possess the ball. Bradbury on the near side. The ball knocked out defensively for Central Wyoming as the Plainsmen tried to make the run, and Bradbury's foot got in the way of the knockout, so it's a Central Wyoming throw. Toss in, and the Rustlers, they definitely aren't content at 1-0, but they're definitely not pushing the same way they did in the first half when they had the ball, holding that 1-0 advantage. NJC's got to take advantage of that opportunity. A little bit of sloppy control of the ball, and rolls out on the near side. 11 minutes into the second half. Plainsmen still trail 1-0. Bustos from 35 out will slice it into the far corner and come up short of Hugo Brett, his intended target. The header for Central Wyoming goes out on the far line. So it'll be an NJC throw. Brett will dump it into Nakayama. Nakayama slices it into the 18 and up to pull it down and prevent the header on once again is Morgan Kendall. So long sail for NJC, not particularly a shot on, but denied on the header. Shumawato will roll it across and in. Brett stepping into the 18. 3 defenders collapse on him. He turns and tries to fire it in and fires it off a defender and out on the inline. So it'll be a corner for the Northeastern Plainsmen, earning that one 12 minutes into the second half. Corner for the Northeastern Plainsmen will be taken on the near side, and we will stop as I believe the goalkeeper for Central Wyoming is cramping, trying to stretch his legs out. So we'll pause to loosen him up ahead of the corner kick for NJC. So the corner coming for NJC after the goalkeeper had to be stretched out on his cramping issue, and he's still trying to work on those calves against the post. They'll get him a water bottle. Hydration is key, especially playing 2 games in a row. Yesterday in Lamar, even if, and I don't know the stat-wise how many of these guys were regular. Kendall has played this season, but I don't know what he did yesterday. His stats aren't officially in from that. It'll be a corner for NJC, and Luca Mami, the freshman from Italy, that will take the corner. 32:45 to go in the second half. Mami setting up for an outswinger as the heap of humanity collapses in. A header up by the defense. Bustos will knock it in, and it goes off the foot of Mandeliers and rolls harmlessly in to be swallowed up by Kendall. Mandeliers was trying to calm him down, and it skipped underneath his foot and just rolled right on by. Score remains 1-0. The kick all the way down the field. Lloyd Baker header out toward the near corner, and chase being given by Oliveda. Veda trying to battle out of the near corner and box out the Central Wyoming player. He'll put it out, and the Plainsman will turn and look to run it back forward with Mami spearheading the effort. Sekira fires it in, and it bounces in. Saved by Samuel Neary, his 8th save of the game. Shot from number 21, Samuel Sekira. His first of the game. 9 shots on goal. 8 saves for Neary. Looking like he might be man of the match material today for the Northeastern Plainsmen. 15 minutes into the second half. 42nd minute goal is what remains for the lone scoring of this affair. Ball goes out on the far line, and a throw for Central Wyoming. Rolled down. Nakayama playing very good defense on the far line. Forces it back out once again. Central Wyoming hasn't really had any substantial stretches of offense. They'll get a shot here, a shot there. Trying to sustain one here. Nakayama got into position and was shoved down by Central Wyoming's Samir Sekira. 15 fouls between the two teams today. Started off where we were going to see one very similar to yesterday, and Things have calmed down between these two clubs. Not nearly the history between the programs that we saw yesterday with Northeastern and Northwest. Both teams have taken each other out when they're heavy favorites yesterday between Northeastern and Northwest in past postseasons. These two schools have played several one-goal games, but nothing that was of major substance, and they've never met in that postseason. Brad put it up over the top looking for Nakayama, and there will be a foul whistled on Central Wyoming. It's Bradbury. He's helped up off the turf, as is the Central Wyoming player he collided with in Charlie Jones. Mandeliers will be the one to trigger the start. And he'll just keep it on the ground, work to Nakayama on the far side. Off to Ollie Strickland. As he'll chip it down toward the far corner, and Hugo Brett runs it in. He'll square back and launch it up and in, and without a shot, Bradbury once again quelled on the opportunity as Morgan Kendall swallows up the cross from Hugo Brett. 28 to go in this second half. Still 1-0, Central Wyoming over Northeastern. Bustos. He'll whip it up to Bradbury. Looks to chase it down into the corner. Managing to stay on. Bradbury working to his right. He'll put it off to Mami. Top of the 18. Shot slide. Tipped into the netting behind the goal. Able to turn and square it, but couldn't keep it down or between the lines. Couple subs in on the NJC side, as turning to action is Maxence Kleber as well as Mateo Becerra Garcia, both of whom are under the starting position today, and we'll see Abner Cartema, the freshman from Texas, for the first time today. Ali Veda, the freshman from England, one that exits. Ball put into play, and the Plainsmen win it at midfield. Cartema is the one that comes up with it on the return. Collision between the goalkeeper and a hot pursuing Plainsman player, Shumawada. Both end up on the grass. The Plainsman will get a throw on the far side as it rolls out on the far line. Toss it in, and Strickland will hit a big boot in, looking for Wada, who elevates, but there to jump on top of it once again is Morgan Kendall. And JC's just struggling to turn everything in, but a foot away, Oscar Serrano Hernandez tried to just flip it up the near touch line and lost it out. Strickland off the throw. Bustos loses it in the middle of the field. 25 and change to go. Ball rolled forward. Charlie Jones down on the far side, and Nakayama will rifle it out. It's the Plainsman soccer team trying to get back even. You're near at home, you have to get points in every game. Worst case, you draw. You want to at least win, draw. 4 points is ideal inside this region, especially with as tough as some of these men's programs are. Ball flipped in off the far side from outside the 18, and Neary comes on top of it for the Plainsmen, denying the chance for the Rustlers once again. Ball rolled toward Wada, who's moved more toward a midfield roll. See if he can't create from there. He'll chip it forward to Cartema. Cartema gets it cleared off his foot and out near side, and it'll bound toward the near touch line. The Plainsmen will turn and quickly keep it in. Garcia off to Bustos at the midfield stripe. Bustos works to his left. Tries to win the foot race on the near side. He'll find Garcia. Down to Bustos in the corner. Bustos gets it tackled off his foot and sailed quickly back. Great bit of defense there by Hernandez for Central Wyoming. Quick run up the near line. Countering offensively is Bellamont, who has the goal. Bellamont 1v1 with his defender. He'll cross it over far side and just sail it way too far on the bend for his intended target, who was Samir Sakira. Central Wyoming player down with leg weariness, and they'll stop it once again as got some cramping going on. You're playing 2 games in as many days. You spent the night in a hotel last night. You're riding on buses. The muscles don't like those things. They're not used to it as young as they are. When you get old, you cramp for no reason. It's true. You see me just spasm, it's because my back decided it didn't like whatever I was doing, existing. I've spent thousands of dollars at chiropractors for lifting something the wrong way or sneezing at the wrong time. The sub will come in for Central Wyoming. For our first time, we've seen freshman Ryan Hill this afternoon. The Plainsmen will try and build something here, still trailing 1-0. Lloyd Baker will chip it up and forward. Quick run for Shuma Wada, the goalkeeper out. Aggressive play like we saw in the women's game to clear the ball out on the far side. Quick toss in for NJC. Clement loses it for the Plainsmen. Quick roll up and a foot race up the near line. Sakara will give it back to the man that gave it to him in Torches. He'll push it across. Plainsmen knock a cross down and will roll it all the way back on Neary to hold the possession. Halfway through the second half. No scoring since halftime. Took 42 minutes to get a goal in the first half. Plainsmen trying to find it here. Shumawada trying to trace the ball down far side. Ball knocked off the goalkeeper. Hot pursuit for the Plainsmen. Wada picks it up and fires it into the back of the net. The aggressive goalkeeping hampered the Rustlers. This time Wada played it off. The hot pursuing Morgan Kendall found the foot of Cartema, and the goal for the Northeastern Plainsmen goes to Shumawada halfway through the second half in minute number 67. Wada assisted by Abner Cartema. And they tie the ball game at 1, finding that equalizer. NJC has only put 3 shots on goal in the game. And they score on their third after the goalkeeper was used outside the 18 for the Northeastern Plainsmen by Shumawada to get a great look at the goal. So the Northeastern Plainsmen find that equalizer, now trying to build that momentum and see if they can't take the lead and get 3 points on this Saturday afternoon. 1-1 hour tally on our scoreboard, brought to you by Bank of Colorado. They believe in keeping banking simple. Online, bankofcolorado.com. Rustler player down, they'll let the run come through, and it goes out on the end line. It will be a corner, though, for Central Wyoming. Couple Rustler players are checking on the downed man. That's Camille Correa that is being helped up off the turf. A near side corner for Central Wyoming, their second corner of the game. It fires in and over a couple of elevated heads that can't chase it down. 21 minutes to go in this game, and NJC and Central Wyoming back tied at 1. Samuel Neary, 9 saves. Shumawata, the lone goal, his second of the season. Lloyd Baker will build things up for the Northeastern Plainsmen. Central Wyoming talked about the complacency. They got that goal, and they just hadn't seen that same urgency offensively in this second half that we saw throughout the first half. And now NJC trying to see if they can't push themselves ahead. Central Wyoming with it deep on the right side of the 18. 1-1 our tally, under 20 to go. Nakayama's played some nice minutes in that right back position. I think that's been part of the denial of the offense for Central Wyoming. Strickland will play it back. Bouncer onto the near side out of the goal, and Garcia will knock it forward. Bustos chips it up to Cartema, who will flip it down onto the near side. Chased down by Garcia as he'll work down the line toward the left side of the 18. He'll foot it up. Cartema puts it down. He steps past one, fires another one up, and into the back of the net. He got the assist on the first goal, Abner. Beautiful play down the near side. The run forward started by Cartema, went to Garcia. Garcia then gave it back after he pushed down into the corner. And the Plainsmen, that's the build offensively that this team has needed. They'll be afforded a water break here as hot as it has been, but Ab had a huge run for the Northeastern Plainsmen back. A pair of goals within 4 minutes of one another, and they've retaken the lead in this one, trying to get 3 points on this Saturday afternoon. Back with the conclusion of the second half next. 2-1 NJC on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The Northeastern Plainsmen now hold a 2-1 advantage with 18 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in half number 2. After a pair of goals within 4 minutes, Shumawata scoring, assisted by Abner Cartema, and Cartema scoring now for NJC to make it 2-1 out of the wide this region. And NJC's on pace to do that, but they got to continue playing the solid defense they played in this second half if they want to get it here, as Central Wyoming has a wealth of offensive weapons that can do a lot of really good things to try and close this game. Sakara up the near side. Ball be found back to his feet, and he stumbles over the top of it with Garcia hard charging him defensively. Jones gets the ball footed away. Plainsmen draw a foul on Central Wyoming as they try to work the other way. Just the 9th foul of the game on the Rustlers. With under 18 to go, the ball be booted up the field. Carthema look to try and chase it down. It's headed off a couple people. Far side, Hugo Brett gets it knocked out of bounds. So it'll be a Northeastern Plainsman throw. Wada with the goal in minute number 67. Carthema with the goal in minute number 71. Northeastern Plainsman keep it in that offensive half, and they'll work it up. Shimawada will head it wide right of the goal, and it'll be swallowed up by a new goalkeeper. The goalkeeper change going back to the original goalkeeper in Stanley Schumann, who didn't face any traffic in half number 1. Quick chase onto the near side. Ball out. Last touched by NJC right near us at midfield. The throw in will be quelled with a sub at the line for Central Wyoming. Cartena trying to lift the spirits of his team. Wada and Abner Carthema as the two guys playing those striker positions out in front, throwing up the near side with NJC up 2-1, 16 and a half to go. Down in the near corner. Step and a roll back out near the top of the 18, footed across, off the official, and falls right back onto the foot of a CWC wrestler. A little sail in, headed up by Lloyd Baker out on the near side. Ball be headed forward, turn, and a fire in on net. That's Torches, number 18, that takes the shot again, and the 10th save of the match for Samuel Neri. Neri's seen his opportunities and given up just the one goal. Very good once again, as he has been for much of this season. Northeastern Plainsman will launch a ball forward. Wada and Carthema both with the run, whipping up toward the net, and the ball wide of the net. It's calmed down once again. Ball back out to the midfield after the quelled opportunity. Ball knocked down and quickly run onto the near side. Boot up and forward on the near side. Wada the intended target, and it ends up on the far side, and Hugo Brett will make the run. Brett, he'll cross it in. Doesn't get through to Wada as intended. Strickland overruns it, and counter back for Central Wyoming. They'll head in. A defensive wrestle away. Ball ends up on the ground. Still kept for Central Wyoming. Fired up to the near side and in, and once again, a save for the Northeastern Plainsman, the 11th of the game for Samuel Neri. So the Northeastern Plainsmen getting their stops defensively thanks to some great goalkeeping play from their freshmen. Ball launched up and wide right of the goal. Long range take for Kleber, but misses. 5 total shots in the game. 3 of them on goal. That doesn't matter with NJC up 2-1. Under 14 to go. The Northeastern Plainsman. And a kick sails up on the near side and got a player down on that clear out for Central Wyoming. That was Josh Jackson, one of their center back defenders that got knocked down. We'll have a kick on the Plainsman's 9th foul of the game. 13:24 to go and counting. Ball rolled forward. Hernandez trying to chip it down and fails in getting a good look down the pitch. Ball be crossed over onto the far side for Central Wyoming. Alex Hall tries to turn it down, and it goes out on the far side, and exchange on the far sideline will get a stoppage here as Central Wyoming player ended up in the midst of the NJC bench, and words being exchanged between the official and said Central Wyoming player as he went over there as well. 12:53 to go, second half. And JC holding a 2-1 lead. Now Coach Westfield will come over and have words with the official as well. Then JC I believe the bench was issued a card in yesterday's affair for NJC as the Plainsmen and Trappers played to a 2-2 draw. Plainsmen would prefer not to have a 2-2 draw 2 days in a row, right? I mean, especially now that you've done all the work to get yourself back up in this Region 9 affair. The far sideline official continues to speak with the Plainsman bench. The head official will come back over and get us back into play ahead of a Central Wyoming throw-in. I'll restart that there with NJC up 2-1, the throw-in. And a foul whistled on NJC on that throw. So a perfect spot for Central Wyoming to try and equalize. About 24 out to the right of the goalkeeper Samuel Neary. Couple players hovering over the top of it. Sakira appears to be the one that will be taking the kick as Bromwell is there as well. Both back off. Bromwell runs over the top of it, and it will be Sakira. He rips it in, and a diving save by Samuel Neary, his 12th of the game. The Northeastern Plainsmen deny the chance for Central Wyoming, and then a Plainsman player down on the far side on a foul for the Rustlers. 10th foul of the game on Central Wyoming, and NJC maintains their 2-1 lead thanks to a beautiful save from Samuel Neary. Plainsman let Neary take the kick from deep in his own corner. He'll put the boot into it out toward the midfield line. Ball's headed by Central Wyoming, and Sticklin mishit it, trying to bend it forward, and it sails out on the near touch. Throw in, header for the Plainsmen. Calm down. Garcia finds the foot of a Rustler. Chip down into the corner for Sakira. He'll hit a cross onto the far side. Header for NJC defensively by Nakayama. Out into the far corner. Denies that offensive chance. And NJC will get it last touched by Central Wyoming on the far line. A chance to build it back forward and possess in the offensive half. Up 2-1. What did we call? I think they may have called a foul. They did call a foul here again. That's 11 on Central Wyoming in the game now. The low line drive out toward the midfield line headed by Central Wyoming. Nice foot down for the Plainsmen. Sakara will take it though, and he'll run it up the near side for Central Wyoming. Sakara trying to cross it back out, and it's knocked out by Yanazaki, who came in, sophomore from Japan. He's working in that offensive end with Kartema. Throw in. Long range shot, fires in and punched up over the top of the net. That was a long range shot from Josh Jackson that nearly dropped down under the crossbar. Results in save 13 in the match for Samuel Neary and will result in a corner for Central Wyoming, just their third of the game. Central Wyoming will make a change as Eduardo Bica will come in on the back of that defense. But imagine that's probably from a range standpoint for him as well. 9:30 and counting to go in the second half. Samuel Neary camping out dead center ahead of this corner. Just rifled in, up, and headed for the Northeastern Plainsmen. And out on the near side. It's ripped forward, but nothing coming of it once again. Throw in for Central Wyoming. Cross over onto the near side and run down by Sequeira. 8:38 to go, 2-1 NJC. Ball touched out by the NJC defense. Goalkeeper all the way out toward the midfield line as Central Wyoming tries to find the equalizer, and Sequeira fires one wide right of the goal. And NJC will make a sub as Oliveira will come back in for NJC. Abner Carthama, who has an assist and a goal. And the hero offensively. Samuel Neary has been the hero defensively. Veda, say, trusted ball possessor for NJC under the direction of Coach James Westfield in to close the final 7:47 of this one. Ball intended forward for Carthama. He'll work forward on the near side. Push it out near side, Will Veda. Veda. Gets it back onto the near side for Cracknell. And Veda will work it on. He'll cross it over in. Carthama working to his right, keeping possession as he battles across and gets it taken off of his foot as he pushes back. Trying to build it up. Central Wyoming with a quick counter back. Bellamont, who has the team's lone goal, and we get a whistle and the ball back to NJC with 7 to go. Score remains 2-1 in favor of the Northeastern Plainsmen. We'll get a clock stoppage again as there is a cramp on the defensive side for Central Wyoming. It's been a exhausting Saturday, no doubt, an exhausting weekend on these road trips for the Plainsmen soccer program. 6:54 to go in this ball game. Coming up tonight, we will have high school football action right here on 94.5 The Ranch. I'm destined for Caliche for a 7 o'clock kickoff as the Buffaloes take on the Pete's Bulldogs. Pre-game show about 6:45 for that one. Talked with Pete's head coach Dylan Ronaldo after their week 1 loss to Potter Dix, so you'll hear that. And it's one of those ball games you never thought you'd see. Caliche, longtime 8-man program. They've won state titles at the 11-man ranks as well. They dropped down to 6-man, where Pete's has been a mainstay for decades. Player hopped off the field for Central Wyoming, and we see Ryan Hill re-entering the contest. They'll work with the cramps deep in or on the back line of that Plainsman bench. Plainsman will put the boot into it. Up the far side. Carthama the intended target. It came up short of him. But it's chased down into the far corner for NJC by Yannick Hazy. Ball goes out on the far sideline. So it'll be a deep throw for the Northeastern Plainsmen with 6.5 to go, holding a 2-1 advantage. In search of their first win of the year, they have 2 draws and a loss in their first 3 games this season. Enter in and a hard tumble taken as we get a foul outside the 18 on the left of the goal. So it'll be a hard angled shot for the Northeastern Plainsman. Matias Rios, who came in, will be the one putting it into play. Rios. Given the go-ahead, he'll launch it into the box. No, he won't. He'll back it out. Ball put in, turn, and a fire. Shot in. Hard play at the net and ripped ultimately into the back of the goal, but that's not going to count as we will have a card pulled out, which stops the clock as the goalkeeper is taken down to the turf. I believe Yanakazi, the one that was in the midst of that foray down there by the goal that ultimately put it in, is the one that is carded for the Northeastern Plainsmen. Plainsmen still hold a 2-1 lead, 5:23 to go, first card of the ball game. Plainsmen try to hold on in this one and close off with the victory following the yellow card. Goalkeeper's up and okay, that's Stanley Schumann. Header forward off that goal kick and up the near side for Sequeira. All footed forward and down into the near corner with 5:13 to go. Be a corner for Central Wyoming as it tumbles out on the end line. So a chance for the Plainsmen defensively to try and shut things down again. Samuel Neary's been tested mightily. Ball in, header up, bounces off a defender's body. Plainsmen keeping their bodies in the way. Ball never gets through to Neary. It's Lloyd Baker who took that ball down, and he's still down inside the box. And it clears out on the near side. We have a Central Wyoming player down. Lloyd Baker's the one that wore the ball off the corner there and prevented it from getting through to Samuel Neary with 4:34 to go. And he's still down in the box and still dealing with some cramping on the Central Wyoming side. They'll get their player up and running, and this has been a stalwart defensive effort this afternoon for the Northeastern Plainsmen after going through the first half without getting a shot on goal. NJC was only down 1-0 and found the equalizer in minute number 67 after getting a penalty kick stopped early in the second half, and then took the 2-1 lead on Abner Cartema's 71st minute goal. Lloyd Baker helped up off the grass with 4:34 to go. It'll be a near sideline throw as the Plainsmen had cleared the ball out. Little sail in, and Neary will punch it up on a ball intended on the far side, and Plainsman player ends up, and we're going to get a rustler carded, so that'll stop the clock. As Emery Idogmas shoved a Plainsman player in the midst of that exchange, and he saw the yellow. So each team's seen a yellow today, and that Plainsman player is still down, so the trainer will be called out with 4:24 to go. 2-1 NJC, our tally. 13 saves for Samuel Neary. He's been stellar on the goalkeeping side of things, but offensively, off the bench, Abner Carthema, the freshman from Texas, assisted on the Wada equalizer and picked up the ball off a Wada shot on a rebound to score the go-ahead goal in the 71st minute. NJC hoping that'll be enough to make it 4 points on the opening weekend of Region 9 play. But still have 4:24 to try and weather before this one comes to a close. These two programs have given us quite the treat. Women's Pro game was a 4-3 game as well. Plains women were up 3-1 in that game. So we've seen two special ones today that hopefully will spearhead both Plains women and Plains men programs into good things as we march through the next month and a half of Region 9 soccer. Neri will be the one that'll be kicking the ball following the yellow card for Central Wyoming. And JC's 2-1 lead as Neri will boot it out to the center stripe. Ball headed down by Central Wyoming. Baker stepping up and taking the thread needle forward, and he'll flip it forward to Abner Carthema, who tries to chase it down on the far line, and he succeeds in doing so. Carthema hurdles a defender. He'll step up, down on the right side. He'll look for the cross. He'll find the cross. Firing it up. Big fire, and into the back of the net, Matias Rios. He rips it in, and that sends the ball game the Plainsmen's way. Crossover for the Northeastern Plainsmen from Carthema to create that one. Found the foot of Yanakatsi, and Matias Rios knocks it into the back of the net for the Northeastern Junior College Plainsmen. And NJC 3-1 will find the victory on this Saturday afternoon. That's an 87th minute goal for Matias Rios to put the icing on the cake for NJC. Assisted by Yanakazi. May be able to give Carthema an assist there as well. He made that run, not maybe a statistical assist, if you will, but he's the one that created that and definitely worthy of man of the match mention for NJC. So the Northeastern Plainsmen get the goal from Matias Rios. They lead 3-1 and will garner their first win of the season in the Final Four, barring a massive offensive outpouring for Central Wyoming to close this one. Plainsmen will sky it up, and as long as that ball's not staying in offensive positions for Central Wyoming, you're in a beautiful spot. There is a foul whistled on the play as Central Wyoming got to push and knock down a Plainsman player, so NJC will be able to put the boot into it. Soccer teams will not be back at home again for NJC until the 11th of October. It was 90 degrees at the start of this one today. There might be snow on the ground the next time we play soccer in Sterling. Ball launched forward. Carthema tried to rip the ball past the goalkeeper. Header down, found for Carthema again, and he gets wrestled to the turf. Couple players down. Veda will pick it up. He'll chip it forward for NJC. Into the box. Ball cleared out on the near side with 2:48 to go. Subs at the line for Central Wyoming. But it'll be an NJC throw from Ollie Veda. Down about 12 feet off the end line. Veda directing traffic. He'll launch it in. Put it back to him, and he'll hit a soft cross that ends up behind the goal, and the subs will come on for NJC with 2:19 to go. Plainsmen, 2 minutes remaining, up 3-1 on Central Wyoming. Down 1-0 at halftime, and have played a great second half to get the 3 points. We talked with James Westfield at halftime in the women's game. He said 3 was a must for this team after not getting 3 yesterday despite being up 2-0 at halftime. And they'll achieve that goal. They'll achieve that must, which is great for this program's hopes. Of course, they've got several challenging programs inside this region. Casper, Otero, Laramie County, all teams that have national recognition, all teams that are going to be tough outs. You've already seen Northwest Wyoming, who's one of your toughest battles. Western Nebraska Community College is always a hard challenge for NJC. But this is a team that's going to be able to find some opportunities this season, and they hope to have a home game in October in the opening round of the regional tournament on October 19th. Under a minute remaining. Up 3-1 are the Northeastern Plainsmen, and we'll stop the clock as the subs come on for NJC. Is the team in the front making the sub, not just trying to waste time there. Make sure that you work those final little bit and have to play it all the way out. In comes the throw for the Plainsman and Garcia. He'll turn and try and whip it across. It ends up down in the corner on the denial, and the Plainsman will boot it out on the far side with 40 seconds left. Central Wyoming tried to advance on the sideline before their throw and got whistled for it. Header up and header out. They'll throw it again with 30 seconds left. The goals for the Northeastern Plainsmen came from Shumawata in the 67th minute, assisted by Abner Cartama, who's our man of the match. He scored in the 71st minute with the game winner and then created the run for Matias Rios to get the 3-1 goal in the 87th minute. The final seconds will wind off the clock in this one, and NJC earns their first win of the year. 3-1, they beat the Central Wyoming Rustlers in Region 9 play. 4 points in the opening weekend of home play for the Northeastern Plainsmen. It's a 3-1 Plainsman win. Thanks for tuning in to Northeastern Soccer on the Eastern